Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? Mason here with REI Sift, and today we have Mr. Joe Rodriguez, who I just had the pleasure of seeing this past weekend at the War meetup.
Yeah,
How'd that go for you?
that was man, it was a great experience to finally come together with everybody.
Were you
Went
able
by too
to
fast.
get any deals out of it? I know we had a couple guys get some deals, I think. Were you able to?
We had one in the split up groups have a contract, so that was really cool to see. I think just seeing everybody split up in the groups and making calls in their different styles was really encouraging as well. Because everybody's different. And yes, we had one call in my group and from my database that they're ready to sell
Really?
coming up. It's just going to be a follow up to see if somebody wants to one of the nephews wants to sell a property.
Gotcha. So you and I were talking before we hit record. I have you here because I think you have a unique perspective. You're getting adjusted and set up now with Sift. And you come from the retail side of things, and I just kind of want to hear your perspective about why you are adding, this side of it to your model, and kind of like what your approach is and kind of where you see yourself going with that over the next few years.
Yeah, so my approach to real estate investing really goes back to the beginning of time. No.
Yeah.
Uh, I've always wanted to do this, but however, I've always been retail. So now that, my real estate team is operational, I'm still in a very fast growth mode on the retail side. So just so you know, I have about 8 agents and counting, looking to expand beyond double that
Yep.
here this year. And we're pretty much like clockwork now, just working and everything that's coming in with our leads and so forth. But on the SIF side, real estate investing, the whole purpose of it is not to transition out and say I'm going to be a wholesaler. The main purpose of it is to control my data, to be able to have the opportunities to have income producing properties, cash flow properties, rental properties,
Right.
you know flip properties here and there, and then ultimately, wholesale is really the third leg of it. Possibly these ones that come out here recent would be wholesales, just to build up the cash infusion on that side of the business,
Hmm.
and then start working the rental properties and so forth. Pay, having income from the flips and the wholesale to just pay for rental properties.
Gotcha. And I know you guys talked about it a lot in War, but having the ability to be an investor, be an agent, be a flipper, be a wholesaler, be a wholetailer, be all those opportunities is only increasing your value with your customers.
And I've thought about it. I don't want to be a jack of all trades. However, I live, eat, and breathe real estate, and
Yeah.
so that's to me as a second mode of income or future growth. There, it makes sense to just to do that.
Sure. I agree. And what was your journey like to discovering REI Sift? How did you find us?
Well, I found Tyler years ago. I was looking into wholesaling at the time. I didn't have a real estate team, and I was a real solo agent at that point, so
Okay.
there's not much difference between going into wholesaling or that when you're solo. However, I just YouTubed them basically on a search because I was just looking how to upload data. A few years ago, what was it, in 2019, 2020 or something? It was just all about Excel spreadsheets,
Right.
having to organize the sheets and then pull them into somewhere and do all these things. It was very confusing because that's not my wheelhouse when
Mhm.
it comes to that. So when Tyler broke it down and just seeing how analytical, how he was able to do all that data like that
Yeah.
was amazing. And then he had Sift coming out, totally different platform. He had 3 buckets or whatever, and we started to
Yeah.
learn that. So that's how I got into it. And, so I've really, it's been laid dormant for years because obviously we got into COVID, retail real estate just blew up. We were working
Sure.
24/7, started, the demand for the team was there. And so, I knew I always wanted to do it. So I left my account dormant. And then when the opportunity arose and saw what Tyler had coming out with the group and everything, I just wanted to jump on. I said, now's the time.
Yeah. Okay. So today now with your current setup and you're just getting set up in REI Sift, I'd love if we could hop into your Sift account. I know you said, I don't got a whole lot going on in there yet because you're just starting to dive in, but you do have your processes, you do have things arranged. Let's just kind of go over what your plan of action is here over the next couple of years as you start transitioning into adding this in. And
Yeah.
I'll give you the ability to share and I'll cut this in
It's just like
post.
with anything, as long as you commit to it, to me personally, I've made a commitment to it. And as long as I'm consistent with it, stuff's going to happen.
Yeah. All right. You
All
should
right.
be
So
good.
I'm looked this way because I have a double screen and my Sift's there. I could put it right
Sure.
in front of me. You just let me know what we need to do. However, my Chrome is on my right-hand side of the screen. So
Yeah, I think as
share
long as you
screen.
share, it should be good. So in
Okay.
terms of data, who you're kind of thinking you want to start targeting and how you want to do it and all of that, just kind of walk us through it. And we'll
Yeah.
see
So
what
I've
you
made
got
some
coming.
changes after this weekend for right now. Obviously,
Okay.
when coming out, you a lot of times you figure, oh, I'll just throw a bunch of data in there and get through it. Well, come
Sure.
to find out that's not the case because you can only go through so many contacts a day.
Yeah.
That becomes a call attempt, which means if you have 5 phone numbers in there and burn through all of them, that's one call attempt.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So let's see here. So what we do is every day. So just so you know, I have a full-time cold caller.
Okay.
And so I've hired the full-time cold caller. She's
Okay.
working 40 hours a week. And so what we do every morning is I've sent her the probate list and then I do some other lists. But right now we're just going to niche right back down into the probate because I'm seeing that there's possibly about 35 to maybe 50 sometimes. It just depends. And then she'll call back on the other ones.
And
So
this is daily, you said.
this is daily. So we
Okay.
did the first to market challenge and
Yeah.
really dove into it. And that, in the war, we really went more granular on what that looks like in the process flows.
Sure.
So got all this set up every day. We just did this. I just got off the phone with her. We applied the filters. We cleaned it all out. We just literally did this right before I got on the call.
Awesome.
So there's nothing in there. And so basically just go every day she comes into here. We go to filter. Oh, hold on. Clear again.
Yep. Yep.
Filter presets. And then we go in here. So now she just goes to ready to call. This is where the bottleneck comes up, where we're saying there's too many in there for one cold caller.
Okay.
Um, and because she's doing single line dialing, obviously we could throw it in a multi-dialer and we talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we apply the filter, and as you see, I have way too many right now at 1192.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
she's only clearing out 40, a day, 42, obviously there's no way to clear that out and get to the next stage. So, anyways, she goes into here every day, does that. We just had a conversation to go back now on the first of the month to come in here and do the monthly rehash as well.
Got
And
it.
so that one's not as bad because there's only 143. So we'll put that in a double line dialer and clear that out every first of the month.
Okay. And for someone listening, why is it that this rehash data, you're going to go through it once a month? What is that data to you? Why is it important to rehash? What does that mean to you?
Well, it's for me personally, it's just clearing out from all the other process flows that are in there that you saw, the first to market,
Yeah.
and it's follow up. So the tag in there is follow up. And so that goes back into the rehash because now you're going to hit them up again now, fresh.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And so, like, for example, this is on the rehash, right? This already had 5 call attempts.
Yep.
So obviously you can't go through and do this. So now we need to look into it. And that's where we would, like, from what I'm seeing here, there's no answer. So she'd go through these again.
Yep.
And then if they become dead, then that's where we would go into deep prospecting.
Yep. And deprospecting is when Joe will, either him or a team member will dive into Facebook pages looking for this person. They'll dive into been verified, True People search.
Yeah,
They'll
family
do all
tree.
that. They'll look up family trees. They'll check obituaries. They'll do whatever they have
Yeah.
to find this person because this is where people will go, oh man, this looks like it's going to be a difficult task. I think I'm just going to move on to a fresh prospect and just call them in hopes
Yeah.
I get a deal. So this is where the hard work begins, but the big juicy deals can come out.
And so as you see up here, there's this follow-up. So everything has a process. So follow-up is on a sequence, you know? And so that's where, you know, I believe that's where that tag came from. If we go back to the filter records right here, see it's include follow-up, and it had more than 3 call attempts.
Yep.
And then that's where that list comes from. And it does have phone numbers, as you can see down here. And that's why we hit that list out. The next thing is Tuesdays. So I'm following everything Tyler says, you know, I mean, everything he says on there, it's going to work, you know?
Yeah.
So the next process flow on there is today's mail out Tuesday is what I'm calling it now.
Okay. Yeah.
So every Tuesday we do mail. And what does that look like as far as that goes? So it's pretty simple. Once you set it up, go into your presets and first to market needs mail. That's your Tuesday mail. So I could do mail Tuesday on there if I wanted to. That means there's 0 direct mail attempts.
Yep.
And it includes all these right here.
Yep.
And it's vacant. We put vacant no, and then just apply the filter. And so what you have to do, at first I was messing with this, but I realized I have to go into the direct mail campaign. And I just come into here, I create a new one. I basically just every week I copy this here, copy, create. This is how easy it is for the postcards. I don't even want to go to another system because it just works. So you come into your filtered records, just like we're going in there.
Yep.
Go to my presets, go to needs mail, apply filter, drop down. There's 94 for today. I hit next step, copy, I paste it, and then I just basically put, Tyler does it at certain dates. I can just put today's date and then I can track it from there. Today's the 4th, 11th, 12th.
Today is the
12th. All I need to know is that it's the 12th, and that's it. I can go back and say how many weeks that is. You just go right here, that real easy. You pick a card. I like the green one.
You've been liking.
I like them all, so I'll just do the green one. You know, I'll come in here, I'll do my tracking number. I'll swap this out with my logo for now. Hit save, send, and that's it, guys. It automatically tags it. You don't have to do anything. And then just here, choose my date. That means it's going to actually go out on Friday. That's the next day. And I don't have enough credits right now. So then I just go in. Anyways, I'll exit out. I'm going to put more credits in. That's how easy it is. It's done.
Perfect. I love that you just did that. You just showed us you actually did some work for us while you're on it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now obviously I know the answer to this question, but I'm gonna ask it as just a random guy on the street. You know, you have for someone who's not fully, you know, going or how should I say this properly? For someone that's like relatively in the beginning stages of their wholesaling business, how did you get all of these presets made and all of these filters made and all these things? You have this massively intricate business. It looks like you have your automation set up. Like how did you do that?
Line, you know, so we come in here, we can pop the new leads. See the stages. So the way, I mean, it was very confusing. I would say this is like this is the simple that solves the complex. And when you first look at it as a newbie, it's complex, but it becomes very simple once you see like what I just did. I'm not a whiz at this or anything. I just followed the process that Tyler put in place. Really what it is it's so simple, but there's a learning curve to it. And you have to be committed to say, okay, I'm going to follow these steps. I had to do the FTM. I had to pause and play it multiple times to get these presets in there to understand these things.
So basically you heard the acronym FTM. He did the first to market challenge.
Yes.
He did a challenge that we put in place so that if you wanted to get started with REI Sift and you wanted to figure out how to be the first person to market to a brand new prospect and how to have an REI Sift business with automations and tasks and team management, task data management, you know, acquisitions processes, all of those things. We have a challenge dedicated to that. He watched it. He said it's a large learning curve because it is. There's a lot to it. But he paused it, he played it, he backtracked it.
That's it. I didn't know the boards. Now the boards are a beautiful thing. That means if the cold caller talks to somebody, you know, you got to throw everything out of your mind, because Tyler calls a lead to somebody you've had a conversation with. On the retail side, it's different on what we see as a lead.
Yeah.
However, I learned the boards. We named one FTM, first to market, and new lead. That means if someone she had a conversation with, it goes to the new lead board on the SIF line. And, you know, and that's what I'm to clear out when it comes to that at that point. So, I mean, it's great. I mean, there's nothing else that you could chase, that there's another system or a platform that you would need to step outside of this in order to run a business that's consistent and creates
Yeah.
results.
And you feel totally confident that you can still run your, what was it, 8-person real estate team?
Yes.
You don't do all
Yes.
that. You know, you're a YouTube, you do great YouTube stuff yourself. I mean, you're doing so much and you're still able to have this side of things too. Like, how has that been for you being able to manage all that, you know? How have you worked through that?
Well, I mean, there are challenges with it. However, everything comes down to systems and processes, right? So, you know, I do have my real estate retail side dialed in. You know, I'm still learning, and I'm still, you know, I'm having to put a lot in as far as recruiting agents. I'm still active out in the field. You know, I do team meetings, team huddles,
Yeah.
team coaching, you know, all that type of stuff. But just there's processes for that. So on that side, I have 2 admins, a full-time TC. You know, we have onboarding, we have weekly coaching outside of me. And so that's able to run itself and just time block everything. And then as far as this business goes, just having the cold callers, the key to it, and then just time blocking to follow up with calls or any inbounds that come in from the postcards.
Gotcha. So the key to being an agent, investor, team leader, YouTuber is systems and processes.
Yeah.
Where do people find you? I know, I mean, you make awesome YouTube videos, you know, and
Yeah,
for the agents
so we
out
do
there.
tons of YouTube. We do evergreen content, you know, long form content that comes out every single week. If you want to look it up, just go into YouTube and do a search, living in Houston, Texas, and
Okay.
we'll be the first ones to pop up. And then we'll be the little round logo that says the original Living in Houston team. And that's me. And so we get tons of reach out. We get hundreds of reach outs a month. You know, we do a lot of business, you know, and it goes very well for us on that side.
Awesome. Yeah.
So
Hopefully we
Joe,
can get
it's
you on.
Joe at livinginhoustonteam.com. And then, you know, and then you could find me anywhere else. Shoot me a direct message on Facebook or anywhere else.
Perfect, man. I appreciate it. That's everything we needed. I mean, we covered it all.
All right,
Uh,
cool, man. It was
uh,
great.
Sweet, man. And expect to, if it's okay, I'd love to get you on a call here in the near future, the next few months as
Yeah,
the first
anytime,
to
just throw it
market.
on there. You know,
Yeah,
we'll just put it in. Everything's
because
time
this
block, right?
first to
So
market flow, I think it's going to start pushing out some stuff, and then we're going to be talking to a whole new Joe. And I
that's right.
look
That's
forward to
right. That
that.
whole side will be, you know, the next leg is built out.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
All right, man. It's good seeing you.